Hi, and welcome to the second video on divisibility tests for the numbers 6 to 10, but not including 7. By the end of this video, you should be able to determine whether or not a number can be divided by 6, 8, 9, or 10. So let's take a look. If a number can be divided by both 2 and 3, it can be divided by 6. Let's take a look at what that means. A number can be divided by 2 if it ends with an even number or a 0, and it can be divided by 3 if the sum of the digits is divisible by 3. So let's look at our number 12,345,678, or 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It ends in an 8, so it is definitely divisible by 2, and when we add up the digits, we get 36, and we know that from the last video. So that means that the number 12,345,678 can be divided by 6. As an aside, the reason why it can be divided by 6 is because 2 times 3 is 6, and that does help with the division. Alright, let's have a look at the next one. 7. Now, there is no simple test for a number being divisible by 7. There is one out there, and I encourage you to find it and share it with us in class. But for 7, we'll be using an algorithm. For 8, alright, this one's not as easy as the others, but the rule is if the number formed by the last 3 digits is divisible by 8, then the number is divisible by 8. Let's have a look at what that means. So for our number 12,345,678, I'm just looking at the 678, and I'm trying to work out, does 8 go into that? Now I know this doesn't seem like a very good divisibility test, but it does save us working out if 8 goes into the first 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 as well. So 8 into 678 goes 84 times with a remainder of 6. So it doesn't evenly go into it. Now, I normally tell my students don't use the R for remainder. We want to leave that as a fraction. But in this case, we're just trying to work out if 8 goes into 678 and if there is any remainder. It doesn't matter what the remainder is. So we can say that no, this number cannot be divided by 8. I would either add 2 to the number, so I would have no remainder, or take 6 away from the number, again, so I would have no remainder. Alright, let's look at the divisibility test for 9. Very similar to 3. If the sum of the digits is divisible by 9, then it can be divided by 9. So our number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, when we add up those numbers, comes to 36. And 36 can be divided by 9. This means that our number can be divided by 9. Also, if I added the 3 and the 6 together, I would get 9, and that can obviously be divisible by 9. The last one for 10, I think you would have learned in primary school, and that is if the last digit is a 0, then the number can be divided by 10. So our number, which ends in an 8, doesn't end in a 0, cannot be divided by 10. But if I change this number to a 70, 12,345,670, then it ends in a 0, and it can be divided by 10. So what should you write for divisibility tests part 2? Well, you can just add on to the last video that you wrote and have the rules for 6 to 10. I'd also like you to write 4 different 5-digit numbers that can be divided by 6, 8, 9, and 10. As a little bonus, why don't you try finding out the rules for dividing by 7 and 11 and let me know at school. If you can demonstrate that to the class, then I'll have something special for you. And that's it for divisibility tests. Hopefully now you can determine if a number can be divided by 6, 8, 9, and 10. And if you can't, always ask questions in class and I'll help you out. Good luck.